Okay, let's get into it. It is January 18th, 2026, and we are just barely into the new year, and the NBA history books are already getting a major rewrite.
Oh, yeah. If you've been on your phone at all in the last week or so, you know exactly what we're talking about. It's the kind of news that makes you actually stop scrolling.
Exactly. We're talking, of course, about Kevin Durant, the Slim Reaper, easy money sniper, whatever you want to call him. As of January 9th, which was, just over a week ago, he has officially passed Wilt Chamberlain
Wilt Chamberlain.
for 7th place on the NBA's all-time scoring list.
It's just a wild sentence to say out loud. I mean, passing Wilt in any category feels like you've done something impossible. Wilt's records are supposed to be, untouchable.
Right. He's the guy in the black and white photos holding up the piece of paper that says 100.
Exactly. So to pass him in something as fundamental as scoring, it cements you in a different tier. You're one of the greatest offensive weapons the game has ever seen, period.
But the context of how it happened is it's so perfectly Kevin Durant. He hits this massive historic milestone in a loss.
Of course he did.
A loss to the Portland Trail Blazers.
Mm-hmm.
He drops 30, grabs 12 rebounds. He's incredibly efficient like always, but the team still loses. It felt like, a perfect little snapshot of his whole career.
It really did. Undeniable, unbelievable individual greatness, but it's always surrounded by something complex or difficult or just plain unlucky sometimes. It's the KD story.
And that's really our mission for this deep dive. We're not just looking at one box score. We want to unpack how this, skinny kid from PG County became one of the most efficient, nomadic, and let's be honest, controversial scorers in the history of the sport.
And we've got a ton of source material to work with. We're digging into the biographical stuff, career stats from the NBA, his college year, which was just, insane.
Oh, that 1 year at Texas?
Yeah, and his Olympic records, which are a whole other level of dominant, and even his business side with 35 ventures. We want to understand the whole picture.
I think the place to start has to be just the sheer physical reality of him, the anomaly. You just look at Kevin Durant, even today, and he doesn't quite make sense.
No, he really doesn't. He's a legitimate 7-footer.
At least.
Who moves like a point guard. The handle, the fluidity, the coordination.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to exist in a body of that size. Usually you get one or the other. You get the size or you get the skill. He somehow got both.
It's a glitch in the matrix.
Yeah.
But the why of KD, the reason we're talking about him passing Wilt, it isn't just that he's tall and can shoot over people.
Right.
It's the efficiency.
That's the word. It's all about the efficiency. We're going to get deep into the 50-40-90 club stuff later and how he kind of unbelievably improved on that. But you can't tell a KD story without the noise.
The psychological journey, as you put it.
Right. The guy who is famously active on Twitter, the guy who battles with the media, who seems to feel every single comment, and who has never, ever been afraid to pack his bags and move if the basketball situation wasn't perfect for him. He's not loyal to his city. He's loyal to the game.
So let's rewind. Let's go all the way back. Before the rings, before the burner accounts, before this whole Houston Rockets chapter, back to D.C. and Prince George's County, Maryland.
PG County. Yeah, for anyone who doesn't follow grassroots basketball, you have to understand that PG County is basically a basketball factory. It might be the most fertile ground for producing NBA talent per capita on the entire planet.
It's a hotbed.
Yeah.
Super competitive. If you can make a name for yourself there, you're ready for anything.
Absolutely. So he's born Kevin Wayne Durant, September 29, 1988, grew up on the outskirts of D.C., and, his family life was a little complicated. His father left when he was an infant.
Right.
They did reconcile later when Kevin was around 13, but in those really formative years, it was his mom, Wanda, and his grandmother, Barbara, who raised him.
And we all know Wanda, the real MVP.
Yeah.
That speech still gets me every time I see it. But there's a detail from his early life, his early basketball life, that I think explains so much about him. It's the number on his jersey, number 35.
Yeah, this is the key to understanding him, I think. It's the emotional core of his story. It's not just a random number.
Not at all.
So when he's playing AAU ball for the PG Jaguars, his coach was this guy named Charles Craig. And Coach Craig wasn't just a coach, he was a mentor, a father figure, the guy who made sure kids had a ride home, who bought them dinner. He was everything.
Wow.
And Charles Craig was murdered when he was 35 years old.
Oh, man, that's heavy.
It's unbelievably tragic. And it happened right as Durant was really starting to become who he was going to be. So he made a promise. He decided he would wear number 35 to honor the age his mentor was when he died.
So every time he puts on that jersey,
he's carrying that legacy. He wore it in high school. He wore it at Texas. He wore it for almost his entire NBA career until recently. It's a memorial. It's not about him, it's about honoring Coach Craig. It just adds this whole other layer of depth to him.
It really does. It reframes everything. Now, physically, you mentioned he was always tall.
Sure.
Right? This wasn't some late growth spurt.
Oh, no. He was already 6 feet tall in middle school. 6 feet. And then his senior year of high school, he apparently grew another 5 inches over the course of the season.
That's insane. Which brings us to one of my favorite, running gags of his entire career, the height listing. For years and years, Kevin Durant was officially listed at 6'9".
Which was the most obvious lie in the entire league. Everyone knew it.
You'd see him standing next to guys like DeMarcus Cousins, who are listed at 6'11", and KD is looking him right in the eye. Or even looking down on him sometimes.
He finally admitted it in, I think it was 2016. He was like, okay, yeah, I'm 7 feet tall in shoes. But his reason for lying was actually kind of brilliant.
It was strategic.
Totally strategic. He said he thought it was cool to be listed as a 6'9" small forward, because if he was listed at 7 foot, coaches would try to make him a power forward. They'd stick him in the post and tell him to bang against the big guy.
And he knew that wasn't his game.
He knew exactly who he was. He wanted to be on the perimeter, handling the ball, shooting threes. So he lied about his height to protect his own play style from being pigeonholed by coaches. It's actually incredibly savvy.
So he dominates high school, becomes a McDonald's All-American, and then he heads to the University of Texas for what would be one of the most incredible one-and-done seasons we have ever seen.
The 2006-2007 season, I mean, it's legendary. We're used to freshmen dominating now, it happens. But back then, for a freshman to do what he did it was revolutionary.
The numbers are just dumb.
Right.
25.8 points and 11.1 rebounds a game.
As a teenager in the Big 12 Conference, against grown men, he became the first freshman ever to win the Naismith College Player of the Year award.
The first one ever.
Think about all the legends who went through college, and he was the first. He swept all the awards, but there's a huge what-if connected to his college career.
Right. The one-and-done rule had just been put in place.
Exactly, and Durant has said multiple times, if that rule didn't exist, he would have gone straight to the NBA from high school, no question.
Like LeBron, like Kobe.
Yep. And get this, he's on record saying his favorite team growing up was the Toronto Raptors. He loved Vince Carter. He said he probably would have ended up in Toronto.
Wow. Kevin Durant, a Raptor from day one. That changes everything. The entire landscape of the league for the next 2 decades is completely different.
It's a huge sliding doors moment, but instead he has that one incredible year at Texas. They retire his number 35 jersey almost immediately, and he enters the 2007 NBA draft,
where he famously goes number 2. The Portland Trail Blazers take Greg Oden with the first pick.
Oof. A tough one for Portland fans still. Oden was a phenomenal prospect, but the injuries they were brutal.
So Durant lands with the Seattle SuperSonics at number 2, a city with such a great basketball history, and they get this new phenom.
And he was good right away. It wasn't a project. He wins Rookie of the Year, averages over 20 points a game as a teenager. The only other players to do that at the time were LeBron and Carmelo Anthony. That's the company he was keeping from his very first season.
But that whole Seattle era,
yeah,
it feels like a dream now. It was so short.
It was a blink. The team relocates to Oklahoma City, the Sonics are gone, the Thunder born, and this is where KD goes from being a great young player to being an unstoppable offensive force.
Those early OKC years were so exciting. Him, Westbrook, Harden, they were so young and so good.
And Durant was the leader. I mean, just look at the scoring. Between 2010 and 2014, so a 5-year span, he wins the scoring title 4 times.
4 times in 5 years.
That is it's absurd dominance. But I really want to focus on one season in particular there, the 2012-2013 season, because this is where he separates himself from just being a great scorer and becomes this historically efficient player. This is the year he joins the 50-40-90 club.
Okay, so let's break this down. People hear 50-40-90 all the time, but they might not grasp just how ridiculously hard that is to do. Why is it the holy grail of shooting?
Right. So it means you have to shoot at least 50% from the field, 40% from the three-point line, and 90% from the free-throw line for an entire season.
And the reason it's so hard is that those skills usually work against each other, right?
Exactly. A big man, like a traditional center, might shoot 60% from the field because he's just dunking all the time. But he's not shooting threes, and he's probably a terrible free throw shooter.
Sure.
Then you have a three-point specialist. He might hit the 40% from 3 and 90% from the line, but his overall field goal percentage will be lower because so many of his shots are difficult long-range jumpers. He's not getting easy buckets at the rim.
Oh, to do all 3 at once.
It means you've mastered every single aspect of scoring. You can finish inside like a big, shoot from outside like a specialist, and you have the mental focus and perfect mechanics to almost never miss from the free throw line. And in 2013, Durant becomes the youngest player in NBA history to do it.
It's a perfect season of scoring, and that leads directly into his MVP year 2014, averaging 32 a game. But that year, we also get this really ugly moment that kind of foreshadows the complicated relationship he would have with the media.
Ugh, so unreliable.
I still can't believe that was a real headline in his local paper.
The Oklahoman, yeah. It was during a playoff series against Memphis, and to be fair, he was struggling. The Grizzlies were a tough, physical team. Tony Allen, the grindfather, was just making his life miserable.
But to call your city's MVP Mr. Unreliable on the front page of the sports section.
It's a betrayal, right? That has to be the moment where he starts thinking, what am I doing here? Do these people really have my back? He responded on the court, obviously, but then you get that MVP speech.
Their real MVP speech about his mom.
So emotional, so raw, and it just showed you the two sides of him, this killer on the court, but this deeply sensitive person off of it. He heard the noise, he read the headline, and it clearly hurt him. It was a crack in the foundation.
But even with the MVP, they just couldn't get over the hump. They made the finals once, lost to Miami, but they never got back. Which brings us to 2016. The moment that, for a lot of Thunder fans, is still an open wound.
The Western Conference Finals. They're playing the Golden State Warriors, the team that just won 73 games, the best regular season record of all time.
And OKC is up 3-1 in this series. They have them on the ropes.
They have them dead to rights. One more win, and they're in the NBA Finals. And they collapsed. They lose 3 straight games. Durant plays well in Game 7, but it's not enough. And that loss changes the course of NBA history.
Because what happens next is the biggest bombshell in modern free agency.
Yeah.
July 4th, 2016.
He drops an article on the Players Tribune, my next chapter, and he announces he's leaving Oklahoma City to join the 73-win Golden State Warriors, the team that had just eliminated him.
I remember the internet just absolutely exploding. It was pure chaos. People were literally burning his jersey. The snake emoji was born. It was pure, unfiltered rage from the entire NBA world.
And you can understand why. It felt like a shortcut. It felt like he was taking the easy way out, joining the superpower that was already built. But you have to look at it from his perspective, too.
Right. There was another side to it, the basketball side.
People like Ben Golliver made this point at the time, and I think it's aged really well. He said Durant chose basketball perfection. In OKC, the offense was clunky. It was him and Westbrook taking turns. The floor was cramped.
He was always getting double-teamed.
Constantly. But in Golden State, he saw Steph Curry and Klay Thompson running around. The ball was moving. The floor was wide open. It was beautiful basketball. He didn't want to just be the guy who had to do everything himself. He wanted to play in a system that made the game easy and beautiful. And he was right.
You can't argue with the results. I mean, from a pure basketball standpoint, it was the right move.
It was validated immediately. They win the championship in 2017. They win again in 2018. 2 championships, 2 finals MVPs for Durant. The basketball they played was breathtaking. It might be the best basketball we've ever seen.
And he had that one iconic moment in the 2017 finals. Game 3 in Cleveland, close game. He just calmly brings the ball up the court.
And pulls up for a 3-pointer right over LeBron James.
Yeah.
In his building. Dagger. That was the moment where he basically announced to the world, I'm the best player alive right now. He wasn't riding their coattails. He was the final piece that made them unbeatable.
But even the greatest dynasties eventually crumble. And this one started to crack in a very public, very ugly way.
November 2018. The infamous on-court argument with Draymond Green.
Right.
Draymond basically called him out about his upcoming free agency, and according to reports, he said something like, "We won without you. We don't need you."
And you can't take that back. Once that's out there, the trust is broken.
It confirmed all of Durant's insecurities about being there, that he was always going to be the outsider, the hired gun, and then the ultimate price. The 2019 finals against Toronto.
He had been out with a calf strain. The Warriors are losing the series. He feels the pressure to come back and save them.
He comes back for Game 5, and for the first quarter, he looks like the old KD. He has 11 points in 12 minutes. He's cooking. It looks like he's going to will them to a win.
And then, the play. He tries to make a move on Serge Ibaka.
And he just goes down, no contact. You could see it on his face immediately. He knew.
A torn Achilles. The worst injury in basketball.
It's the one that robs you of your athleticism. It's ended so many careers. And just like that, The Warriors' hope for a three-peat was over, and so was Durant's time in Golden State. He literally tore his body apart for them, and it was the end of the line.
So he's now a free agent, facing a year of rehab, and he makes another shocking move. He heads east. This is the Brooklyn experiment.
He signs this massive 4-year, $164 million deal with the Brooklyn Nets, along with his friend Kyrie Irving, and everyone knows he's going to miss the entire first season.
They were willing to pay him max money just to sit on the bench and get healthy for a full year.
That's how good he is, and when he comes back, they go all in. They trade for James Harden, so now you have Durant, Harden, and Kyrie. On paper, it's maybe the most talented offensive trio ever assembled.
On paper being the key words there that just, it never clicked.
It was a mess. Injuries, Kyrie's vaccine status, Harden wanting out. They almost never played together at full strength, but we have to talk about that one moment, the 2021 playoffs.
The Milwaukee series. This is the ultimate what-if of his entire career for me.
I agree. It's Game 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. Kyrie is hurt. James Harden is playing on a torn hamstring. He can barely move. So it's basically Kevin Durant against the entire Bucks team.
And he was magnificent. He plays every single second of the game, every second of overtime, too. He drops 48 points, which was a Game 7 record.
And then we get to the end of regulation. The shot.
Oh, man.
The shot.
Nets are down by 2. Durant gets the ball, makes a move, fades away from the corner for what looks like the series-winning three-pointer at the buzzer, and it goes in, swish, the building erupts, it's over.
But it wasn't.
His foot, his big-ass foot, as he called it later, his toe was just grazing the three-point line. By millimeters, the refs review it, they change it to a two-pointer, the game is tied.
And they go to overtime, and KD is just completely gassed. He's nothing left. Nothing. The Nets lose. The Bucks go on to win the championship. If Durant's shoe was a size smaller, or if he takes that shot from an inch further back, Brooklyn probably wins the title, and that entire era is viewed as a massive success instead of a failure.
It's just, history turns on an inch. And after that heartbreak, the whole thing in Brooklyn just fell apart. He asked for a trade. They finally granted it in February 2023, and he's sent to the Phoenix Suns.
And Phoenix gave up everything for him. Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, a whole treasure chest of draft picks. They pushed all their chips in.
Now, at this point, he's in his mid-30s, coming off an Achilles tear. You'd expect him to slow down. But statistically, he did something that makes no sense.
It defies sports science. In that season, he split between Brooklyn and Phoenix. He had a 55-40-90 season.
Wait, hold on. We said 50-40-90 was the holy grail? He shot 55% from the field?
56%, actually. Over 55. He's the first player in NBA history to hit those benchmarks. He lost a bit of his vertical explosion, sure, but he replaced it with just pure surgical skill. His mid-range jumper became the most reliable shot in the entire league.
But the team's success didn't come with it.
No, it didn't. They lost to the Nuggets in the 23 playoffs, who went on to win the title, and then 2024 was a complete catastrophe. They got swept in the first round.
A sweep for a team with that much talent and that high of a payroll is just, it's a disaster.
And then the injury luck runs out again. March 2025, he suffers a season-ending ankle injury, and the Suns miss the playoffs completely. The whole Phoenix experiment was over before it really even began.
Which brings us to today, the current season, 2025-2026. And Kevin Durant is now a Houston Rocket. How did that even happen?
The trade of the summer. It was a massive 7-team deal.
7 teams.
The largest trade in league history. It was a complete roster shakeup across the NBA, and the end result was KD landing in Houston on a big contract extension.
And his debut was so weirdly on brand for him.
Oh, it was bizarre. It was against his old team, OKC. The game goes to double overtime. And late in the game, Durant tries to call a timeout when the Rockets don't have any left.
It's a Chris Webber moment.
Exactly. Total flashback. But somehow, the refs completely missed it. They didn't call the technical foul. But it didn't even matter because he fouled out on the next play and the Rockets lost anyway. Just a strange, chaotic start.
But he found his rhythm. And this past month, January 2026, has been huge. The revenge tour is in full swing.
It really is. On January 5th, he hits a game winner against Phoenix, his most recent team. And after the game, he basically said he felt like they made him the scapegoat for all their problems. He embraced being the villain again, and he stuck the dagger in them.
And then just a few days later, he passes Wilt, which is where we started this whole conversation.
Right. It's just been a history-making month for him, solidifying his legacy, even as he's on, his 6th team?
Now, we can't do this whole deep dive without talking about his international career, because you can make a very, very strong case that he's the greatest men's Olympic basketball player of all time.
I don't even think it's a case anymore. I think it's just a fact. He has 4 gold medals. 4. 2012, 2016, 2020, 2024. He's the first male athlete in any team sport to win 4 Olympic golds.
And he's not just along for the ride, he's the guy.
He's always the best player on the team. In the 2024 Paris Games, he became USA's all-time leading scorer and rebounder. And think about it. So many superstars skip the Olympics to rest. Durant almost always shows up. He just loves playing basketball. It's that simple.
And that passion extends off the court now, too.
Right.
He's become this really savvy businessman.
Yeah, 35 Ventures, his company with his partner Rich Kleiman, they're not just, endorsing products, they're investing. They have a stake in an MLS team, a pickleball team. Their media platform, Boardroom, is a real force in sports business media.
He's also been a pretty vocal advocate, too.
For sure, especially with cannabis. He partnered with Weed Maps to help destigmatize marijuana use for athletes, for recovery. He's been really open about it, which is a big deal.
And he's an Oscar winner. We have to mention that.
It's an insane fun fact. He was an executive producer on a short film called Two Distant Strangers that won an Academy Award. So he has more Oscars than Leonardo DiCaprio did for a very long time.
Plus, he's a credentialed photographer who shot a Super Bowl from the sidelines.
Yeah.
The guy is just... he's endlessly interesting, but you can't talk about his off-court persona without talking about Twitter.
Ah, yes, the Bird app, X, whatever it is. He is famously very online.
He's not just online, he's in the trenches. Most superstars have a PR team post, "Great team win tonight." KD is in the replies at 2 in the morning arguing with a random account with 12 followers about a game from 2014.
It's incredible. He's admitted to having burner accounts to defend himself, but you know what? I kind of respect it now. He said that when he was in OKC, he felt phony, like he was always trying to be the perfect corporate superstar. Now he's just him. If he thinks your opinion is dumb, he's going to tell you.
It's authentic, if nothing else. It makes him feel more human than almost any other athlete at that level. So let's try to wrap this all up. We've traced the path from the Slim Reaper in Seattle to the veteran sniper in Houston.
It's a journey defined by movement, by change. He's been a hero, he's been a villain, sometimes in the same city. He's polarized absolutely everyone. But the one constant, the one thing that has never, ever wavered is the skill.
I think this one stat just sums him up perfectly. He and LeBron James are the only 2 players in history to have scored 40 points against all 30 NBA teams. He has burned every single franchise to the ground at some point.
And he's doing it more efficiently as he gets older, which is the part that still breaks my brain. That 55-40-90 season should not be possible for a guy at his age, post-Achilles tear.
So here's the final question I want to leave everyone with. It's 2026. He just passed Wilt. He's 7th all-time in scoring. Given that his efficiency is somehow still improving, does Kevin Durant have a realistic shot at cracking the top 3 all-time scorers list? Or will the constant moving, the wandering nature of his career ultimately overshadow the pure statistical dominance?
If he can stay healthy for 2 or 3 more years in Houston, playing in a system that needs his scoring, I would not bet against him. He just loves putting the ball in the basket way too much.
I wouldn't either. All right, that's it for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.
Take care, everyone.